Hey guys, this is Kelly from Half a Word, and today I want to talk about Camp NaNoWriMo. For those of you guys who don't know what Camp NaNoWriMo is, it is basically an alternative program that parallels the actual NaNoWriMo in November, where instead of writing 50,000 words in a month, you can kind of adjust your word goal to something that's more personalized. So you can write less than 50,000 or more than 50,000. This video was definitely supposed to go up in June, and it was supposed to be like a how to prepare for Camp NaNoWriMo 2017 kind of video. That clearly didn't happen, so yeah. First, I just gotta say, I commend all of you guys who are doing Camp Nano. I did it for 3 years and I failed all 3 years. I seriously give you mad props. These are just some things I've picked up on that you may find comforting or useful on your quest to however many K words you're aiming for this July. Number 1, know your story. I highly recommend that you know your story. What I mean by that is, I highly recommend that on July 1st, you do not open up a Google Docs and begin working on a full-length novel based off of a 2-sentence synopsis that you scribbled into your journal 2 days ago. That is the fastest way to eternal suffering. You need to be sure and confident in at least 3 things: the atmosphere, the world, and the ending. These 3 things can be kind of blurry. They can even change halfway through your book, but you need to have them in your pocket before you start writing. Without that minimal structure, it's very difficult, in my experience, to get a novel off the ground. On the other end of the spectrum, number 2, outlining is like chocolate. Your cholesterol will skyrocket if it's excessive. So let me just say, like many of us, I am a crippling perfectionist. When I was in 3rd grade, I wrote this novel about mermaid princesses who ventured into the human realm in order to fight evil and restore peace to their underwater kingdoms. And they had like all these cool superpowers and stuff, and it was a total ripoff off of this Japanese anime show that I was obsessed with at the time. I got a good like 50,000 words into that baby before I finally realized it was just complete trash, and I deleted it. Ever since then, every other writing project I've ever attempted to embark on has gasped and wheezed for a maximum of like 5,000 words before dying a slow and painful death. So now you're thinking, what on earth could have caused you to get worse at writing? I started outlining. Outlining is totally essential to the writing process. But you know what isn't? Outlining every single chapter, scene, character movement, and dialogue. I was basically writing a pre-novel before I wrote my real novel. No wonder why I burnt out so easily. The more passionate I was about a project, the more I wanted to make sure that it was written perfectly, the more outlines I would kill myself over, the less motivated I became to actually write the book. As a writer, you're supposed to be making up a story as you write it. You're not supposed to be directly translating rough notes into just prettier prose. I read a really great article that kind of put what I just said into more coherent sentences, so I will go ahead and link that down in the description. I highly recommend that you check it out. It is so good, it is so important, and it was kind of life-changing for me, so I don't know, check it out if you want, it's like whatever. Numero 3, everything will suck. I know everyone says this, believe them. Number 5, write until you're stuck. I gotta give props to my homegirl Maggie Stiefvater for this piece of advice, but ever since I discovered it, I've been kind of obsessed with it. She will sit down for a writing session and write for as long as she can, up until she reaches a point where she isn't sure how to proceed. And then she backtracks and goes to see what exactly went wrong. The general idea is that every time you're not really sure how to proceed, a flow has been interrupted. Is it a loophole that you recognized earlier but you weren't sure how to fix, so you've been ignoring it and now it's like a gaping hole? Is it a plot twist that contradicts a previous outline point? Move forward until you can't, and then look back. And finally, number 6, reread only for reference. Is there anything worse than having to reread your first draft while you're in the middle of it? No. So don't do it. Some people turn down their brightness and just keep typing until they're done. I don't personally do that, but it's a good idea. Personally, I don't reread unless I absolutely need to. Whether it's because I forgot a name or I need to double check something that's been established in a previous chapter, when I need to fact check, or when I need to get the vibe of a setting that I was writing in previously and have just now returned to. Otherwise, I just keep writing. A novel is freaking long, and my days are short. Don't get me wrong, I feel like that. Often and in extremes. I totally get that feeling of needing to go back and reread what you've written, but it's not gonna help you. The only thing that's going to help you is if you push forward. Turn down the brightness or have a ban on scrolling up while you're writing or whatever else works for you. Just don't obsessively reread. So yeah, those are my tips and tricks for writing, I guess. I don't know. These are some of the things that have really helped me, and I hope they really help you too. For those of you guys who are participating in Camp Nano this year, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'm cheering for you.